What's up, guys? Anthony Rodriguez here, producer and mixer for the God Soundtrack Suite Volume 1. Today we are at Tower of Babel. It's a cool story in Genesis, in the book of Genesis, and pretty much the first time where languages was developed because of disobedience to God and prideful people trying to build a tower that would reach heaven. And so that inspired God to just destroy that tower and for everyone to kind of spread out through the world, speaking different languages. That's pretty much the first written story of different languages. That's in Genesis chapter 11, Tower of Babel. Now the whole earth used the same language and the same words, and it came about as they journeyed east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. And they said to one another, "Come, let's make bricks and burn them thoroughly." And they used brick for stone, and they used tar for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build for ourselves a city and the tower whose top will reach into heaven." And from there, history was made. I'm telling you guys, like, the Old Testament is gangster, like straight up gangster, man. Um, And so I wrote a soundtrack here. I think that in this part of the soundtrack suite, things become fun because the story just gets a bit more action. We have more action here. And so we are in my Dolby Atmos session. Playback is at 2.0 direct. So just wanted to let you guys know that between the production here being recorded into the video and then uploaded to YouTube, the encoding, and you know, you might not, you're gonna get to hear the Atmos mix, but I am willing to send you guys a binaural re-render for you guys to enjoy with your headphones. Um, Other than that, this is part of the album, so you could actually hear it in Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music with your AirPod Pro Max, any spatial audio device that you may have. You can listen to the Dolby Atmos through that. So you can listen to it on the DSPs that have Dolby Atmos, which again, Apple Music, Tidal, and Amazon Music. So for now, this is in 2.0 direct, which brings the Atmos mix into stereo. It's a re-render. So feel free to comment in my video if you would like a binaural file so you can listen to it with your headphones. I'll be happy to send it to you. That's why we're doing this. So, but here, welcome to my session. The file is a bit bigger opposed to the other ones in the past videos. So we're gonna speak through the soundtrack and have some fun with this. Okay. I'm already hearing some. So I'm already hearing some movement. Oh, so this is a pretty cool and interesting thing for this session. In this session, I'm using a plugin from Sound Particles, the Energy Panner. And Energy Panner has some cool things that pretty much, I've spoken about this in the previous videos, the bed. So we have the physical speakers in a room, which is considered the bed. And this plugin here is a real, a special tool for this arrangement because it moves the sound without me having to move it within the objects. So it moves it for me within the bed. I think it's in this one right here. So right here in my studio, hearing it straight directly with my headphone at 2.0 direct, I can hear the movement. So it's going circle. If you see the channel here, right here where it's highlighted, where it says effects, you can see exactly where in the bed it's moving to. So it's pretty cool. I think it's moving within the quad setup. I think it's on the left, right, front, left, right, surround. So we move forward into the next thing. So now we're gonna go into this the next part of the story. So the beginning part of this story, really, it's a preparation of what's happening. So it's like, you know, we're preparing for something that's about to happen. The chaos is about to begin. The destruction of the Tower of Babel begins now. Yeah. So one of my favorite soundtracks. Oh my God. You guys hear that? Anyway, this is one of my favorite soundtracks because it's just like, ugh. Let's go over the few groups that's in this section here. Let's start with choir. So choir is on the bed, left and right. Called the choir shorts. Let's see what effects. We have them in the quad above and elevated on from the right and left and right speaker, a little bit elevated up. Do I have them in the Atmos verb? I don't. So that means I'm not using the Atmos verb for this particular thing. I have it placed on certain parts. So I do have some effects happening here on the quad above and mid level from the left and right. And then going back up here, we have orchestral shorts. These are also placed in the bed left and right, but I have some effects going on the quad above as well. So front top, back top, pretty cool. There's a lot of things happening in this track, so we want to make sure that the placements are fair and that everyone's getting their, you know, their space. So in this one, I didn't dare put stuff on the Atmos verb just to put things on the Atmos verb. This was planned out in a way where we want every instrument and every group to have their own space as much as possible. Next thing is percussion here. Yeah, guys, you guys know me by now. With all these videos, I'm a freaking percussion guy. I love percussion. We have some automation here. You can see. I don't know why automation was written here. There's nothing to write, but over here I had to kind of lift things up a little bit. Because the stereo mix is different because everything is already glued into the stereo master. But when you print things out from the stereo master for each track, things kind of change a little bit, not much, but very little when it comes to stems coming out of the stereo master. So I don't think these were printed from the stereo mix. But anyway, it doesn't matter because I can write things around to kind of give the same power as the stereo mix. This is also in the bed. Just wanted to say something here. Okay, so the other things that I mentioned, the choir, the effects, they're also in the bed. Yeah, they were also in the bed. Now we're in the percussion now, so let me not get lost here. I'm gonna get easily lost. The percussion is in the bed, but sent as well to. Let's look at this. Okay, you look at the green section here. These are all bed placements. These are all bed placements, and what's happening here is that there's no effects enabled here. This is just placements. So from the initial source, the percussion is on the left and right, but it's also being played in the center, left, right surrounds, left, right sides, and left, right surrounds. Man, I just love it. Strings, obviously these are the short strings here. Left and right in the bed, but we also have some effects on it. So we have it on the left, and we have them on the quad above, just a little bit of it. Definitely LCR and objects in the front. Nothing happening on the green side, but you can hear the effects, right? From here, I can hear the effects. I can hear the ambiance, the delay, the little bits of things that I'm putting on there that's up here, and that's floating from the top. So when you hear everything together, there's no size in the objects on this part here. All the reverbs, mid and back. Look at the Atmos verb and the Atmos delay, and how I use it to kind of finish a section. So it's not being used to overwhelm anything. I think it was here. I have no idea where oh, I think over here. Yeah. So pay attention. Take a look at the Atmos verb and the Atmos delay, and how it's being used. So it's a mix of reverb, Atmos reverb, and a mixture of Atmos delay to give me that push into the next section of the song. Now what comes into this next section is horns. Another thing that I love to write. So the horns are left, right, from the initial track, from where it's at, the source, left, right. So I have them coming out little by little on the quad above, and lifted up in the front. You can see right here, lifted up in the front. Look at the front, left, right, mid. Have them lifted up. So not only is it coming from the regular left and right speaker, but it's also coming out of the objects a little above the left and right, and also in the center channel. And everything else here is I'm telling you, I just had some crazy fun with this. I wonder if the percussion moved for that cool cut. Let's find out. I would have made it move now if I would have done this again. Dun, 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 dun. I would have made it move for sure. I don't know why I didn't do it. You notice the tempo change, right? The tempo change is, so what's happening is we're just like, you just picture everything just falling apart, and then people are just like so kind of, they're so scared that they're seeing it slow, in slow motion. But then they come back to reality and they're just scattering everywhere. Yeah. So we'll just keep going. The glory of God. The glory of God shows up here. And then we're just finalizing these things now. We're back with that effect. So that's pretty much how I used the energy panner from Sound Particles. It's all about intention. In the rest of this mix, a lot of these things were used. In the bed. A lot of these things were used in the bed across, so you hear everything kind of surrounding, especially percussion, horns. To me, I wanted to anchor things right there at ear level, and then everything else is just effects and ambiance on the top side. You know what I'm saying? So it felt so good mixing this. That is Tower of Babel. You can stream this at Apple Music, Tidal, and Amazon Music in Dolby Atmos and spatial audio. You could really enjoy the experience there. I know that YouTube has some limitations and stuff like that. And I didn't want to do binaural playback because not everybody has headphones. And so I just wanted to be fair on both sides. People with headphones and without. At least you get to hear the Atmos mix in a stereo format as a re-render. But if you really truly want to enjoy the way I'm hearing it right now from the source, get yourself to Apple Music and to these DSPs with Atmos or soundbars with spatial audio and Dolby Atmos technology. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.